our next guest this evening is actually the restaurant manager of luxury Syrian brand Abu Zaad in West Ealing.
That's right. Abdul Rahman Badra has kindly brought us a beautiful selection of meze dishes for us to explore some Syrian cuisine live here on air. Here to tell us about it is Abdul Rahman. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, my brother. How are you?
What a feast!
It's what a feast.
I feel a bit bad.
It's only a short selection of our big menu.
But I feel a bit guilty. We talk about food
it's a
banks,
pleasure. It's
and
a
now
pleasure.
here we are with a spread from Allah. Anyway,
Mashallah.
Look at Amir Sulaiman. He's thinking, I can't believe my luck. I've landed in the country, got to the studio. Fortunately, I've got a meal waiting for me.
it's freebie time.
Time to eat before, so then
That's the hospitality, my brother. That's
Mashallah. This is how we treat all our guests.
I love it. I appreciate it.
So look, let's start off by telling us. So, are these traditional Syrian dishes?
Well, to start with, for instance, hummus, tabbouleh, mutabbal. These are the main starters for any meal in the Syrian breakfast.
Right.
Well, the mixture of hummus. Well, hummus is very popular, isn't it?
Of course.
It's made of chickpeas and tahini sauce and olive oil, all fresh ingredients from the nature. The tabbouleh is an Arabic salad made of fine chopped parsley with cracked burghul. It's called burghul.
So this is the tabbouleh here, isn't
that's
it?
the tabbouleh.
That's the tabbouleh.
You see how colourful it is?
We might be able to
lovely,
get a shot of that.
mashallah.
Yeah, would you
beautiful.
like some now?
I think, you know what? There's
Please.
nothing like trying the
Would you
food.
kindly serve our
of
guests
course.
first?
Yes. You see how
What would you like?
how
Is
it
there anything in there
tastes.
particular you like? Now, this one here, this one,
And
this
that's
kind
a
of
baba
aubergines.
ganoush.
Is that
That's-
aubergines?
Yeah, that's a grilled aubergine with.
What did you call it? Baba ganoush?
Baba ganoush. Baba means
That's what I said the
baba,
other
means
day.
father.
Baba ganoush. Remember?
Yeah, see how colourful it is?
I thought that was someone.
It's made of.
No, it wasn't someone. It's
Oh,
something.
would you like some?
I thought Baba
some of
ganoush
those?
was like,
Baba
you know,
ganoush with some
like you
olive
say,
oil.
there's my chacha
Pepper.
saab and there's Baba ganoush. I thought it was like...
Brother Ahmed, did you
it's a pleasure.
some
Some falafel.
did you have anything on the plane
is
at all?
very famous.
No, not really. Nothing worth
Okay,
consuming.
we'll enjoy.
Yeah.
Do you like
wonderful.
falafel?
I do. It's wonderful. Actually, I'll use one of these. I'll use one of these so you can use that serving spoon.
Yeah.
So you can keep
Would you like
this one.
some, my brother?
Yes,
this
I'll
one.
have
This
anything.
spoon.
I'll tell you what I'd like to try. You know the thing inside the leaves? Because I see those everywhere.
that's the vine leaves.
And I've never eaten one, right? And I've always seen... And to be honest, the look of it puts me off a bit.
Wow,
but
it's really
I'm getting
nice.
more adventurous now in my old age.
Wow.
So I want to try one of those.
I'll tell you something about our food. Our food is a treasure from the nature.
It's beautiful.
So it reflects health, it reflects our generosity, and subhanAllah, Allah's generosity with providing us with all the ingredients, with colors and proteins and all supplements. So it's all over there, and
Brother, one thing,
It's
though,
an art.
there seems to be a lack of meat.
Ah.
Is there a reason? I mean, is it generally...
we don't eat meat in the morning.
Oh, you
That's
don't?
breakfast.
This is a breakfast meal.
Or something late supper.
Amir, carry on.
So,
Amir, start tasting.
Bismillah.
we eat
No,
it-
don't worry,
Brother.
What is this one here, by the
mostly
way?
Arabs.
What is this one here with the
that's
nice kind of
called-
fried onions? I like fried
Yeah,
onions.
that's
I'm gonna
called
nick one
hara
from
asbaw. It's made of lentils, pomegranate molasses,
Okay.
tamarind, mixture of some olive oil, some, fried onions topped with it, and some
Mashallah.
pickles. It's very, very nice and very rich with calcium,
Okay.
very rich with proteins.
Okay. So,
you know.
Amir, one thing. While you're eating, we need you to do some work as well.
Okay.
So you're gonna do some spoken word poetry for us, featuring the term Baba Ganoush. Okay. How's that?
I mean,
ode to Baba Ganoush.
on a serious note, I mean, you're trying to raise. I mean, again, we're so blessed. We've got all of this food in front of us. But the Torah is really about raising awareness, isn't it? About the situation in Yemen.
Right. I mean, it's like you were just saying about what we've learned from Syria and what we've learned just in a lot of what has happened throughout the world, particularly in that region of the world over the last few years, that we see that these conflicts can inflate and really just rage into really catastrophic situations, you know, with long-lasting effects. So we're just trying to do the little bit that we can do now at the inception, and while it's building momentum. And the big thing is just for people to know and for people to care, because if they don't know, they don't care.
That's right.
And the very first thing, if we can, as the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam tells us, we change it with our hands, and if we cannot, condemn it with our tongue. And if we can't, then at least dislike it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you have to know to care.
Have you had the fortune of going into the region and seeing for yourself the sheer scale of the crisis?
No, I haven't myself. So I've only been from the benefit of the brave people that have gone and captured the footage. That's the only way that I know about the crisis and those other crises in that area.
SubhanAllah.
Yes.
So in terms of your spoken word poetry as well, I mean, are you incorporating any of what you're seeing that's going on in Syria and Yemen, etc., within that? Would you tell us a bit more about, your work and how it's kind of inspiring other people to...
Yeah, it really is just inspired by life. So sometimes it's about my personal life, sometimes about the global, the political life, the economic, like we were talking about, the people who
Food
are
banks.
without food and the people just suffering, in different ways, small scale, large scale suffering. And so it's not so much that I write, like I'm going to write about that conflict or about that conflict, but all these things are in my heart, and then I spill my heart out, and then in it you'll find pieces of this affair and that affair.
As Sajid said, no meat here. This is a typical breakfast spread, is it,
Yes,
for a Syrian family?
In addition to bread, cheese, yogurt, milk, and olives, which is also very important for any meal in breakfast. Yeah, we don't eat a lot of meat in the morning.
No. And
just very refreshing, mixture of texture and mixture of colors.
Yeah, and you've got these. This is like laban, isn't it? This is like
it is drinking yogurt.
iron.
It is iron.
Like iron.
Yeah.
Our Turkish friends. will know
And
exactly
it's
what that
slightly salty.
Yeah, very. I like it.
A touch of salt. That's what it gives the nice taste of it.
Beautiful. That
It's
cool feeling
really
as
nice.
well. Helps to
Yes.
digest.
I think it helps digest.
It's very
Absolutely.
good for your stomach.
Brother, I almost burped there. SubhanAllah. Astaghfirullah. SubhanAllah. When it, Brother Amir, what do you normally partake for breakfast in the morning? Are we looking at hash browns? Are we looking at grits?
Yeah, it's, I don't know, particularly because I'm traveling often. Breakfast kind of can happen at any time of the day. Sometimes I won't get to breakfast until 8 o'clock at night,
Oh, no.
So
Wow.
sometimes, like for example, now I left home, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, and then I get here and it's, 7:30 or whatever. And so this is breakfast
That's
for
your
me.
breakfast.
Yeah, from
Well,
yesterday.
In the life of a performer, you have to get used to that, travelling around and performing. And we heard recently about a performance that you made for the Guggenheims.
Yeah.
I mean, how did that come about?
It was amazing that one of the family members heard one of my poems called We Must Win. It's a very intense poem. And it's really, for myself, the poem is very much about the Black American experience in America, that there's a very strange love, hate, and relationship with Black people in America. And particularly now there's been more and more footage and court cases and things around the police and things like that. So it's about that, but it's really broader about, like I said, it could be about Yemen, it could be about Syria, it could be about a lot of different things. And so...
but it's amazing with what's going on in America right now with these fatal shootings. Almost feels like America's going backwards.
Sometimes it does.
Well, the interesting thing about it is this something that's been in the Black community that we've known about.
But it just seems to be now more out
And
in
a
the
lot of
open
it is
because
really just a
social
matter of technology. One, of social networks, and two, of camera phones. So that's why these things that would happen 20 years ago, someone would just have to say, no, that guy, you shot him in the back.
Yeah.
And then they say, oh, what do you know?
We're not going to believe the word of you over a police officer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so now we're just seeing what we Black people have been saying for many years.
That paradigm that you talk about there of the world changing now so that everything's witnessed on camera phone is not just highlighting the problems in America, but it's kind of worldwide, isn't it?
Exactly.
The stuff that we just used to hear about, whether it's Syria, whether it's Yemen, whether it's the States.
Highlighting the problems
That's right.
everywhere.
We can actually see it with our own eyes now, and it makes it feel very close to home.
And I suppose
Watch it at the
one of the
spots.
reasons for the
Revolution.
the revolution, the Arab Spring, was because you had people sharing footage of what was going on in their country, and it was just spreading like wildfire across the world, which subsequently led to other uprisings.
We said
in other
that the
countries.
Facebook has brought Gaddafi to death. So social media brought a whole country to the lowest level ever in history. It caused governments to deteriorate.
That's right. Yeah.
Rulers to go away, to run away, and we're not calling it spring anymore. We're calling it very heavy winter because it's
that's right,
everything. All countries have messed up with wars and civil wars and weapons.
And it's going to. We just
I mean,
pray
Amir,
that.
how has the advent of social media, social networking, how has that enhanced or improved your work and got that out into the you find you're getting audiences in corners of the world that you didn't expect?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate throughout my career that my poetry somehow, even before we were on MySpace and stuff like that, that my poems and my CDs would be all over the place. I'd get messages from Yemen and from China and from all kinds of things, really amazing. But definitely with Twitter and Facebook and all of that and Instagram, it's made it much easier, you know.
Made you more accessible as well.
Made you more accessible, and we're going to move on to our next feature now, but not before saying a Harvard Fellow. A Harvard Fellow, indeed.
That's 07553 366 206. Just ask the London Fire Brigade, who'll be on next Wednesday. One of your very own home stories that has made it to the sofa. Cannot wait for it. Have a lovely weekend from me, but back over to the studio. I'm going to have a nice chomp.
We're always eating when we come back.
Well, I tell you what,
us.
I've had seconds and thirds, and I'm still going strong. This thing is full of cheese.
I love it.
I thought
His
this was...
wife, he didn't cook for him today.
No food today.
Please
obviously.
give our compliments to Abu Zaad.
Thanks.
We think
Thank you
he's
very
a
much.
wonderful cook.
Jazakallah
Abdul Rahman,
khair.
this is full of cheese. I thought it was
Yes,
going to be
it's
full
feta
of...
cheese.
I thought it was going to be a spring roll, you know, full of
vegetables.
What do they
No,
normally
no.
have in a spring roll?
Or
Yeah.
meat.
It
Be nice.
should be stuffed with something.
It's
But it should
lovely.
be cheese
It's
or...
lovely.
that's what it's called, cheese roll.
We've just a reminder, the first caller who won a pair of tickets, please do, I think it was another Pfizer, if you wouldn't mind calling in so they can get your details, so they can send you tickets. Otherwise,
Because we didn't get your details.
I know who you are.
That's right.
That's
Anyway,
right.
coming back, rounding up with our guests, if I can start with yourself, Abdul Rahman.
Yes.
Restaurants around London, remind us again of where your restaurants are.
We've got 3 branches, 3 treasures all over London. The main one is in Shepherd's Bush, which is on Oxbridge Road. The second one that our dream came true, which is in Edgware Road, serving the heart of London. We're catering for Harrow, Edgware Road, all these places.
Good location.
Yeah,
mashallah.
alhamdulillah. And we had the good luck to open the last treasure, the last diamond in West Ealing, which is the most spacious restaurant. The capacity is 120 seats. We've got it is facilitated with a playing kids room, with a nice cinema, cartoons and everything. We've got the facility to cater all the parties, aqiqas, lambs,
And I can tell you,
alhamdulillah.
the
And
food...
sorry.
Yeah, I was
It's a
going to
very
say,
nice
and the
view.
food is wonderful.
It
indeed.
is.
Jazakallah
Thank
khair.
you so
Amir,
much.
It's
your
freshly
thoughts on
made.
the food, sir?
All the time.
I loved it.
We can tell. Look at
That's
smile
what
you
I'm
have.
saying. The
It's very
joy.
smile.
Because you tell the
strength that has
difference.
returned to your body,
The
sir.
before and after, you know what I mean? It's in the
Mashallah.
eyes, you know what I mean? It's wonderful.
Amir, sir, you are now Harvard Fellow.
Yes.
Tell us about this, as a fellow. That's a great honour,
Accolade.
mashallah, isn't it?
It
Tell
is.
us a bit about it.
It's a fellowship that I designed called Between Rakim and Rumi. Rakim being one of the grandfathers of hip-hop
Eric B.
lyricism.
and Rakim.
Right.
I'm old enough to remember that, man.
Indeed. And Rumi, of course, we know Rumi, the great Persian poet. And so it's just finding the juxtaposition between hip-hop lyricism and traditional spiritual Islamic poetry. And so that's what I'm studying and writing and teaching about.
Fantastic. Well, look, give us a quick reminder. If people want to follow your work, if they want to see your website, how do they do that?
It's easy. Everything's just my name. So if you're finding me on Twitter, it's just at Amir Sulaiman. If Facebook, same thing, and AmirSulaiman.com.
And the tour as well, how can people find out about how they can come and see you live, sir?
It's Islamic Relief, I imagine.
Yeah, Islamic Relief. They know better than me. As a matter of fact, they just come to the hotel and I walk outside and they take me wherever I'm supposed to go.
You can prepare your voice, settle your soul, get in the vibe, get the mood ready. We're coming back to you in a minute to see out the show with your
And
fantastic
don't forget
poetry.
Baba Ganoush.
Well, look, a huge thank you to all of our guests this evening, and of course to you, our wonderful viewers, for entering our competition, for tuning in. Congratulations again to all of this week's winners.
Stay with us on Twitter at Islam Channel, hashtag LTL, and on Facebook.com, The Islam Channel. Or why not watch again via YouTube.com on IslamChannel.tv. I'm sure you'd love to see us once.
You would indeed. Living the life, of course, we're going to be back on Monday, as always, 1900 British summertime, inshallah. But don't forget, the best bits of this week's shows will be live on Saturday. So you can watch that on Saturday on Islam Channel. But for now, taking us out is Amir Sulaiman.
Word.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. My heart won't think, but my mind refuses to feel. So it leaves me senseless, sleepless, restless, wondering. I only come to my senses between sentences. And a sentence ends without a period point, or without a point, period. My points seem hollow, like hollow points, fired at point blank range that would crack my brain, like my brain on crack. I'm somewhere in between sane and black, stressed and brown. I'm a milky mulatto, passing in the city of the living, passing and pretending as if I haven't died already, and I say I'm all ready to do it again, because I'm a man of my word, and a man of my worth, and a man of the earth. I come from her, and I'll return to the dirt.